Welcome to another Strong Talk podcast. This is a record. They're going to do two in the same week, kind of,
Yeah.
not quite. Joined again by Mr. Mike at Chrono Strength on Instagram and all that stuff. And
Hello.
yeah, I'm Kale Beck. Just want to thank everyone for record hits on the website this past week. I guess people care about World's Strongest Man coverage. And it seems like I'm the only website this year that's actually reported on any of it.
It does.
Yeah, like like the past years, there's been other sites that have, but no one cares to put the fruitless efforts that that I have. There, of course, help. The of course, we follow the World's Strongest Man through a spreadsheet for the most part, which you can find, which is Matthias Bjorheim, I think from Norway, has been doing most of the work on there. And I see now that since everyone's looking at the spreadsheet, he's put what his Instagram is everywhere on it, so he actually gets something from it, hopefully.
There's three times, four times. Yeah, it's on there a bunch.
Yeah, it's at BJORHEIM1. Bjorheim 1, I'm going to assume. So he needs to get a lot of credit too. He's one of the main sources. Julian Howard in England's helped me out, and some others that will remain nameless because there's all these rules on info getting out about World's Strongest Man. But it was an interesting qualifying. I think one event had went on when we or one day when we last talked, Mike.
Yeah, it was about the first Yeah, the first day had gone on. But you mentioned that no one's supposed to post anything, but I think it's pretty awesome that
Yes.
Thor has been posting so much. Everyone
Yeah.
except for Thor.
Everyone except for the guy with almost 1 million Instagram followers is allowed to post their videos and results.
I crushed stones. Check it out. I
Yeah.
made the finals.
Yeah, new world record.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Martins is posting videos of monkeys.
Yes.
Those are my favorite videos.
Well, there's always going to be some sort of preferential treatment for superstars
Yeah.
in sports. You can tell, like, Conor McGregor can make demands in MMA, even though there might be a more skilled fighter. Where so basically, Martins has to stick to shaking hands with monkeys in his hotel and liking when people congratulate him on Facebook, but Thor can, give you a rundown play by play and it's all going to be okay.
I didn't even think about it until today, but Thor is probably like outside of strongman one of the biggest superstars they've ever had in World's Strongest Man. I mean, has anyone ever had a following like that?
Well, he's the first superstar that we've had with like the modern, you know,
Social media
social
and
media. I think Pujanowski probably would have been, if like there was stuff like that back then, probably would have been
right.
close. But yeah, I think he's probably more. Yeah, he's probably the biggest star ever in strongman. Really, if you look.
Yeah. Anytime I ever tell anyone that I do strongman, they're like, "Oh, you know Thor,
Yeah,
the mountain."
we have to thank all the BuzzFeeds of the world for that one thing by them putting the mountain breaks world record in blank every time he does. So it's a great thing for the sport when an athlete has plays a role which is clickbait worthy. So he's helped out with that. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, Pujanowski is more famous probably for being a strong man,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe I think it would be like a similar, like if Lou Ferrigno kept doing it, and back like if he had like Instagram and stuff when he was playing the Hulk, everyone would have been like, oh, that's the Hulk, but
Yeah.
in Pumping Iron. But yeah, so I'm sure that there's some sort of deal worked out with that where he's able to post some stuff because he does have a million or almost. I think it's close to almost 1 million Instagram followers now, or I could be very wrong.
No, it's a lot. Whatever the number is, it's way more than everyone else.
Yeah, so there's probably some, like, hey, I really, oh, he passed 500,000. It's what he's at 633.
It's not bad.
In strongman world, that might as well be 1 million.
It's probably as much as everyone else combined in the finals, or pretty close.
Way more. Yeah, because
So, shall we get into the events for Friday? Actually,
Yeah,
that's 2 days.
yeah. In the finals, first off, who got into the finals and breaking down the events? We in Group One we have Martins.
Martins.
We called that one. A lot of people are shocked, but I talked to someone yesterday, and they said they didn't know anything about him, but they weren't surprised by how we talked about him on the podcast before,
Yeah.
because it seemed like we weren't going to be surprised. So then he wasn't as surprised. um,
Yeah. I mean, I still think he can podium. I mean, it's going to be tough for him. We'll go over the events, but
yeah,
like deadlift for max will be tough for him.
yeah.
That's the only thing.
It would not surprise me at all. And then Belsac from Slovenia joins him. Arso got injured. He ruptured his groin,
Sucks.
which that sounds horrible.
It does. I don't know how bad it is, but it doesn't sound fun.
It didn't say pulled. The terminology was ruptured. So, and I heard it was pretty bad. I think going for the third rep on the squat, coming out of the hole, just went. So that's Group One. And Belsac's I think he'll be interesting in the finals. I think he'll be pretty hit or miss on a lot of stuff, but I think some of the stuff he could probably be fairly high up for. If there was a dumbbell, he'd be right up there. He's probably, other than like Dimitar, probably one of the better, dumbbell for rep guys. I mean, he got 10 with
It's
in
pretty awesome.
qualifiers.
220.
That's a
Yeah.
lot in 60
Yeah.
seconds. In Group Two, we have Eddie Hall and
Beast.
Gregor Szymanski. Eddie Hall is definitely the second most famous strongman.
Yeah. Yep. Especially after the deadlift.
Yeah. And that's solely from being a strongman. So,
It is.
yeah, but I think it's interesting because people are like, Eddie Hall didn't look that great in the qualifiers. And like, he won 4 events.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just,
And all that matters is that you get to the finals.
yeah. And yeah, Szymanski looked very consistent the whole time from Poland. I think this is his first final. We have 5 first-time finalists
He's good. He's
this
definitely
year.
gonna.
So that's the most that there's been since I think 2005 or 6, when there was the last split that happened. And then we have Hafthor Bjornsson, who just coasted. Looked like he had the easiest run into the finals out of anyone in Group 3. And probably the biggest surprise, at least for me, I never even don't remember hearing about this guy, was oh man, I practiced his name last night.
Is it Janasia?
Yeah, I think it's probably Yanashia.
Oh, okay.
He's probably a soft J, but Yanashia, something like that. Yeah, Konstantin Yasha from Georgia, which I'm pretty sure this is the first time a Georgian, or I think that's what they're called, is in the finals at Worlds. He's improved a lot. I guess he got 4th at a Giants Live in Hungary in 2014. And that's when Bergman won and Belsac and Bergman tied, and Eddie Hall got 3rd behind them. And he beat out like Graham Hicks, etc. at that contest. And then I heard in 2015 that he placed 3rd at the Arnold Amateur. Not sure how you can do a Giants Live, then do the Arnold Amateur. But I guess, he's been steadily improving for the past couple of years. And he made it in the finals, beating out Terry Hollins, which I think we both picked, who's probably a little beat up. Because,
Didn't see that coming, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, Yanashia, I'm just going to call him Konstantin. It's probably easier.
That works, yeah.
I think he has like his Facebook page doesn't have his name. I think it goes by like the Georginian Bowl or something. So, I mean, we could just call him that, but I'm just gonna call him Konstantin. But it looks like an interesting mix. He has a pretty strong deadlift.
925, right? Is that what you sent me the other day?
I think it was 445, whatever that is.
445. Okay.
Yeah, or fourth. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, but I don't know if there was like some weird little chains attached to it, so I don't know if he was counting that in the plates. I didn't pay too much attention, but yeah, we don't really know too much about him, but it's cool to see new faces. And then in the next group, Jean-Francois Caron from Canada and Big Laws from England made it into the finals. Even though he had some hit or miss events, he actually got last in the dumbbell in his group.
I don't know what was going on with that. I was kind of surprised. I
Yeah.
mean, the circus, he'll be better at the circus barbell, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think it's one of those things where, and the frame carry, I expect him to probably win that.
It's freaking fast.
Yeah. So that should be a good start to him. And a lot of especially the older competitors with more war wounds at the finals, it's going to really depend on how healthy they can stay because we don't have any of the weights for the events, but I assume it's heavy because it seems like all the qualifiers were heavy. It seems heavier than last year. In the final group, Group 5, we have the clear favorite to win, Brian Shaw, and Mateusz Kielskowski of Poland, who is making his first. I think he's has to be a front runner at a podium.
Like pound for pound, he's one of the strongest for sure. Because okay, so he was a second slower than Shaw in the bus pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
Shaw's
like
over 400.
or
You know,
five, who knows?
and then Mateus has got to be about 100, at least 100 pounds lighter than him. So that's incredibly
I
impressive.
think Mateus is about 270-ish pounds, maybe 280, but he doesn't look like he's bulked up really much. And he's what, 23, 24? Belsak's also young. Belsak's like 23, I think. And I don't think Martins is very old either. So
He's like the size of Yoko Ahola, you know?
Mateus, yeah, pretty similar, probably a little taller, I think. But other than the deadlift, I think I don't see him doing bad in any of the other events. I don't know how he did in Atlas Stones. That's the other thing. And by being so explosive, I assume he's going to be good at kettlebell throw. But I guess we can kind of break it down event by event now.
Let's see,
Well,
so I thought that Hilskowski got second in stones. Oh,
yeah,
we don't even, okay, we don't know. Well,
we have no
it says
idea.
second, right? Well,
We
at
just
least
assume because that's the rest. That's how the
assume it's
rest of the
second.
group went. Is he went.
Yeah.
And actually, another note is Martins got first or second in every event in his qualifier. I'm pretty sure. But the first event, frame carry, starts off Friday at 9 Botswana time. You can figure that out for yourself, whenever the hell that is.
Yeah.
Um, I assume it's going to be heavy. I don't think they're going to use straps like they did at Europe's, but that would definitely change things.
Yeah, if it's without, I mean, I'd say if without straps, maybe like Ron Arnold weight, 880, maybe, 400 kilos.
Yeah, they'll probably do something stupid like that, which is really heavy.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then if it's got straps,
it's 1,000.
it's gonna be close to 1,000.
um, Martins crushed the frame carry at the LA Fit Expo, which was stupid heavy.
That was close to, I think it was 1,000.
You think it was close to, yeah, it was around 1,000. That was with straps though.
Yeah.
I think the frame's a really crucial event for Eddie Hall. I expect Laws to win it. Thor's been he's kind of off when it comes to like really heavy carries like that. It seems like if it's light, it's kind of like how Pujanowski was, where if it's really
Yeah.
if it's a little bit light, he's just gonna blow it through it. But then like what was it at Europe's the car walk that killed him?
Surprisingly, yeah. I was surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Mateus did good on the frame carry the past 2 years. The Arnold Shaw, of course, is always consistent. He should be top 2, 3 in there. I just really this whole event, I have a hard time seeing anyone else beating Shaw unless there makes a crucial mistake. And if anything, Shaw's biggest attribute is he does not make any sort of mistakes like that. He's very good to great at everything. Where if you look at the rest of the competitors, there's question marks in certain events.
Sure.
Like they have to have stellar performances where Shaw just has to kind of like do as you expect.
Yeah, he probably won't fall off at any of these events.
No, I don't
I mean,
see.
they're all good for him.
I don't see anything here that like maybe if there's like a log for Max. I don't even think he'd fall off much with the competitors here in a log
If
for
Z was
Max either.
there, he'd give him a run for his money, but
Yeah,
not.
it's Like we said in the last podcast, like it really how the finals shape up kind of depends more on who makes it into the finals that are on the bubble that you wouldn't expect because it's not so much about how many events how many points you get in each event, but more like not losing as many events. So you have to look like even someone like Belsac or someone who you probably he most likely is not gonna, or Constantine. You don't think he's gonna probably make the podium, but he could get in between on something like a deadlift or whatever, get in between Thor and Shaw or whatever. That's where, or Hall. That's where it makes the big difference.
Like
Like,
with the squad a couple years ago. That I
mhm,
mean, putting a bunch of points between Thor and Shaw. I mean, that changed the whole outcome of the competition.
that's why he lost by half a point
Yeah.
to Z. He placed above Shaw. Got second that year. Um, I know Eddie Hall has some sort of issue with his two of his fingers.
What did
Disloc.
he do to him? Do you know?
I don't know. It was in warm ups,
Oh, okay.
from what I can tell, but it didn't seem to affect him too much in the qualifiers. And it's one of those things I think it's probably healing by the day. But something like a 400 kilo frame carry can make little things that are healing rear up pretty quick,
Right.
and then might not feel too great on something like a circus barbell that seems to vibrate in the hands a lot.
That's going to be an interesting event, man. Depending on the weight, because I guess
I think
last year, what was it, around mid threes?
I think
Who's
it's
still be the cruiser?
165 kilos this year,
Okay, so 370.
or 160 maybe. I think it's in like the 360ish range. I think it's gonna be somewhere around 350 to 370.
I would expect Eddie Hall to do really well in that.
Yeah, he's by far the favorite in the circus barbell. Shaw actually, when I think they had it last year in the qualifiers, and he tied Obi with 4 reps, and those
He
were
looks strong on it. Yeah.
yeah. So it looks like out of all the overhead events, it's probably one of his better ones. Other than dumbbell, he seems to be hit what the 300 for like 3 reps at the Arnold.
Especially a heavy dumbbell.
Yeah, really heavy dumbbell. I don't. He's that's probably his best overall overhead event. But yeah, I expect him to do well. Um, Laws has looked pretty good in training for it, and others it's just really up in the air. It's just you just really don't know. like
But I mean, the difference between 5 and 6 reps could be a number of places in this. So they all, I mean, like
um,
Shaw has to do really well.
I don't think the most that anyone hit in the qualifiers last year was 5, and that was Eddie Hall, and then
I think five is, yeah.
Shaw and Obi got 4. So I expect probably some, depending on if it's a little heavier or not. I'd say something in the 5 or 6 is gonna win.
Any more than six would be
You have to be
pretty
moving.
epic. Yeah.
That's more than 1 rep every 10 seconds. So that's pretty hard to do with a heavyweight like that. But I think that the big difference in here is going to be like if you get 1 or 2 or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So in between everyone else, it's not that common of a implement, and I don't I couldn't find too much like actual push pressing from too many of the competitors. I think Thor will be pretty good at it, unless his weird because he seems in his training he's been doing that reverse curl technique instead of the continental,
Right. I don't
which
know.
and he's been doing that with a barbell instead of I think this is going to shake a lot more, so that could unless he adapts and actually continentals it, I think that's a little more risky.
And then the deadlift,
Yeah, for
the last
Max.
event. That's going to be, I don't think we're going to see, I'm going to say not much over 1,000, if anyone hits that high. Because you got to
Um,
remember that they're going to be tired
yeah,
raising
and
it.
it's also they have to make sure that they have to wake up in the morning, and at
And pull a plank.
9 a.m. and pull a plane. So yeah,
I bet you Eddie Hall will still win that one.
I don't
I,
see yeah because he's gonna be willing to go further. I think
mhm.
Shaw could probably push him for a max and a deadlift, but like we saw at the Arnold Classic, Shaw's content to try to win the whole contest.
I think he's going to be good for second. He's going to do whatever
Yeah,
he
he's
needs to
like,
do
all
for
right,
second and
yeah,
let Hall go all out.
Yeah, here's my 9 points. I'm confident I can beat you in everything else.
Yep.
Where Hall needs to win this event, in my opinion.
Yeah, to get on the podium. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Everyone else, I mean, do we know? We don't know opening weight.
I'm gonna think it's 400 kilos.
Yeah, it seems we've really been opening for everything else.
Yeah.
So
So it's gonna this where this event's really gonna decide a lot for me is more who gets third. Because you have a couple people in here which I think are really good, like Kilkowski,
mhm.
but he skipped on the 400 at Europe's.
He can't zero it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if he zeroes it, he'll probably end up still getting something stupid like fifth because he's pretty good in everything else, but
Right.
really good. But yeah, the 1 point's a lot better than a 0 or 2. Um, and then Karan's obviously great deadlift. Laws is right near 1,000. Pretty much everyone. So this is it's gonna be interesting what Martins, Belsac, some of the newer guys hit. I want to see what Constantine does just because it looks like he has a monster deadlift. So it'd probably be the event he shines in the most in the finals.
Martine's PR is 865, I think.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to go for a PR if they open at 881. But he is really clutch when it counts.
Yeah, he's
So
definitely a gamer. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting.
yeah,
Because it's right around there, because 880 is kind of heavy, but it's an opener at Worlds. And then the plane pole. How do you think that one's going to go?
it's gonna favor the big guys. It's gonna favor Shaw, Thor. Eddie did really well at it, but then again, Martins and Kilskowski, they're both pretty. I mean, they're both incredibly powerful. So
Yeah, if you look at teens, I haven't seen anyone since Pujanowski lay out on a plane pole like he does. Just completely flat, low to the ground, generating all his power. Where you watch someone like Thor, he's so good at it just because he's so damn big and strong. But he's like really like no, that's not how you do it.
I remember that a few years ago they were like, "Oh, look at Thor, he's kind of messing this up,"
And then he
and then
won.
he either won or got second
There
in
was a
the.
there was a few years there where Thor went unbeaten in the truck pull for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Martins beat him in the truck pull at Giants Live Iceland or whatever it was, where they did it all outside. Um, I think Karan beat him in a truck pull that was up in Canada, but
The Canadian one.
a
Okay.
couple of weeks ago. But Karan went first, and then it started raining, so
Makes it tough.
that's a factor. Kilkowski was right there with Shaw. Hall won the truck pull in his group. It's um, stuff like I feel like we kind of can guess pretty much like more so how more common events like an overhead press, the deadlift for max, Atlas stones, even frame carry kind of because we have more to look at, but there's so many variables and stuff like a plane pull, um, and it's also like there's going to be a lot of ties in the deadlift, obviously, because there's set jumps where there could be 3 seconds and it's 4 places in something like the frame carry or plane pull. That happens all the time. So
It's the top five, I would say, are going to be within 5 seconds of each other.
yeah, so that makes it. These events are really the ones that decide a lot. Stuff like frame carry, plane pull, even kettlebell throw, because everyone's going to be trying to do it really fast. And it's kettlebell throw for height, kind of like keg toss. Actually, pretty much exactly like keg toss always is, except they have kettlebells. Because
Is this a max height or is this a
no,
number?
it's how they did it. Was it last year in the qualifiers
Okay, yeah, yeah.
where they went up in ascending weight?
I'd take a Char Thor for that.
Yeah, you have to go with Shaw or Thor for that. But my point is that by the time they go, one of them's going to be going after the other, and they're going to
Yep.
push the other, and there's room to make a huge error. If you miss one throw that doesn't go over by trying to go for first, you could easily end up in sixth.
Could lose the whole thing.
Yeah. So I'd say the plane pull and the kettlebell throw are going to be interesting events as far as to figure out how this all shapes up. And then it all comes down to the Atlas stones. Again,
At least it's not the power stairs. That was lame when they did that a few years ago.
with which cost
Lawless, yeah.
yep, cost him.
All right, now we're gonna finish it off with the power stairs.
And we're going to put them really high. They were
So
like
this guy that's 5'10" can't win.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you know? So the top stone in the qualifiers was it 200 kilos or 210? Do you know?
No idea. I'm going to assume 200.
I wonder if this one will go up to 210 or 200.
It was either the yeah, it's going to be either one or the other. Like it was the last one was like 190 in the qualifiers or 200, and now it's going to either be like 200 or 210. That's how it's been done in years past. But I know again, Thor posted the video of him doing the stones.
Easily, like so easily.
Yeah, it was kind of like people thought it was fake.
Yeah, I mean he almost won. I mean I think he has won motion like a 200 before,
Yeah,
which is absurd.
and that was the fastest time out of all the qualifiers I heard that Thor
And he
did.
didn't even look like he was trying all that
No,
hard.
it was what 75%,
Maybe, yeah.
maybe 70, and he did it in 24:15 or I think
Yeah, the times for this are going to be
under
20
20.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be quick.
But yeah, it was funny because like I reposted the video on at Starting Strongman, and they said like that's cool, but those aren't real stones. And I was like, yeah, they are. He's
What's going to be cool with this is that I don't have Shaw and Thor ever gone head to head on stones. I don't think they have.
I don't know
I would like to see that.
because I know the year that um I know the year that Thor took second, he went head to head with Z, right?
Yep, and Shaw went head to head with Burke. Burke knocked the platform over, which Shaw turned around and looked really quick, or like it kind of startled him.
Yeah.
So that kind of messed everything up.
I would think that they have at some point, but you might be right.
That's going to be good then, because I can't see either of those two not being 1 and 2. I can't see that.
Yeah, I would. I think it would take something weird happening, like how the car carry went for Thor. But he looks
Sure.
like he seems to be looking like he's a lot better than he was at Europe's.
I don't remember. I think what Thor said is that he wants to win at least. He wants to win once.
Oh,
I don't
of
think
course.
Thor isn't going for 5 or
No.
6 titles like Brian is. Thor is going for one, and then he's going to carry that with him and do his acting career. I would guess.
That would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah. So it could be it. I still take Thor for the win. I think it's going to be close, but I still think Thor's going to win.
The whole thing.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if Brian wins, I'll be happy. If Thor wins, I'll be happy. I mean,
Yeah, wouldn't be surprising. I think Thor winning would be great for the sport for obvious clickbait. Everyone's gonna be like, the Mountain from Game of Thrones wins World's Strongest Man. That's gonna go everywhere.
it's weird without Z being here, though. It feels weird.
Are you gonna follow the Arnold Asia this weekend too?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, it's got a lot of good guys in it, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot more videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
unless Thor is like, hey, I'm going to live stream Worlds from my phone. Check it out.
I don't think the internet in Botswana is good enough for that.
No.
I heard
It's only good for taking videos of monkeys.
Yeah, I saw Nick Best complaining about the Wi-Fi on my Facebook page.
After he told you that he loved you?
Yeah, on accident, he says, but
I don't think it was an accident.
no, even if it was accident, his heart was typing for him. In my opinion.
That was pretty good, dude. That was a good thread. Save that screenshot.
Oh yeah, I did. It was funny. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Doing the cover I'd say I'm doing the coverage for Worlds, but it's not like I'm in Botswana or something. I just I ask people the right people the right questions, and people honestly a lot of it is people like, hey, this happened. They just tell
Yeah.
me, because they, I don't know, everyone gets excited about this. We want to, we all have this weird um, love for the sport for no quantifiable reason.
Well, I'm
That
going to be refreshing my phone pretty much all day Saturday.
exactly. Uh,
Come on, update,
yeah,
update.
and keep crashing my servers, which is great, but also
Well,
annoying.
this Google Doc isn't on your server though, right?
Yeah, but we want people to go to startingstrongman.com.
We're still going to crash Google though.
Yes, let's crash Google Docs. Let's hope for that. But yeah, but there's also multiple former World Strongest Man competitors, which I've never had any sort of talk to, have been messaged me as well, either through
Glenn
the
Ross,
page. Yes, Glenn Ross is one of them.
Big Daddy.
Yeah, which was great because then he's like, "Hey, would you help me promote my events?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. If you have events from what's he do? The Ultimate Strongman is his thing, I think."
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll spread the news. Happy to do it." So it's again just building up those connections and relationships, which is great. Um, Trying to spread the word of strongman. It's because if the whole thing grows, everyone's happy. It's good for everybody. Good for the athletes. Good for the promoters. Good for the sponsors. Your competitors. However you want to put it. That's kind of the point. Who else? Do you remember Martin Murr from Germany?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah. He messaged me last year too, and I haven't talked to him since. And again this year, he said, "Hey, what's going on with Worlds?"
They're all, man, I guess when you're, if you go to Worlds a few times, you're interested in it for like the rest of your life. You're like, I wonder what's going on there. I bet I could do that. I bet I could do that.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
that's still like what I think about like when I watch like when I hear like the nationals results and look at the 175s, I go, if I cared, no,
I
which
could
is
have done that car deadlift.
yeah, which is extremely insulting to the other athletes, but it's just they'd feel the same way if they
For
were
sure.
somewhat retired too. That's why you bothered to do it in the first place, because you went, you know what, I could do that, and then you went and you either did or tried or didn't. But it's pretty cool. Who else? I saw that Philip Pfister liked the Starting Strongman Facebook page yesterday.
Sweet.
So
That's awesome.
even from West Virginia, who doesn't really use the internet, is like, what the hell's going on over there?
So
Um,
what year did you win? Oh six. Oh
yeah.
six, right? Yeah.
hmm And he's actually doing a little seminar at Viking Performance Training in Morgantown, West Virginia, soon. And Obi and I went and did a seminar there, and it's a great gym. So I don't know.
Nice.
I think that'd be interesting to get some training tips from Phil Pfister if anyone's out in that area. There's a free plug for everyone. But I think I know you have to go. I have to go back to doing all my things. It's kind
I
of a
must go to work.
yeah. This has been a refreshing day though, because I didn't. It was the first day in the past like week that I've woken up at 6:30 or 7 and not in a still in a sleep haze trying to drink my coffee. I had to look at a spreadsheet and update the website for results. I'm like, kind of a nice break. um, but yeah, it was especially interesting on day 4 when I couldn't get into my own website for pretty much half the day. But it shows that people care about strongman, which is great. And we thank everyone for listening again. Subscribe on iTunes, give us a rating and review. Follow Mike at Chrono Strength on all the things. You can sign up for coaching if you want to get into the sport or improve in the sport of powerlifting, strongman, or just being jacked and tan at strongmancoach.com. And visit the Starting Strongman shop, store.startingstrongman.com. There's all kinds of training gear and all the sponsors at startingstrongman.com/sponsors. You can peruse there and help support this whole deal. But appreciate it, and I guess talk to y'all next week.
Later, guys. See ya.